Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as the mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as the mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He's calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. The Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, O people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, the people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, the people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, the people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called, for he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him, and he'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, for he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him, he'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. He's coming again.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah YouTube channel, and you can find us all over the place, and we are right here with you guys right now. And we are a family divided because we have a family that has taken on yet another special mission where it takes one of us out of this house at all times. that we are basically having to readjust every last aspect of our life to keep a couple of very old people alive. And these old people we've known for 10 years, and they came down here, and they have no family, they have no nothing, they have no support system, and they don't have financial ability to bring people in to help them. And so for the last few months, we've watched them basically go downhill to no help, no way to do anything. And the last hit this old gentleman did was he was walking down this very steep thing, fell down, smashed the concrete against his face. He has 2 black eyes. His arms are all messed up. There's giant holes in his flesh. His knees are all messed up. And so we decided enough was enough, and that these people were absolutely not able to take care of themselves anymore. And so for the last week or so, we've been in and out of the hospital getting them there. One of us stays there at all times of the night, and it is crazy because we have 9 pit bulls. And so we are stressing our house out quite a bit to make this happen. But our Creator is a wonderful Creator. He has blessed us with the abilities to do these things, and we are not the family who is going to sit around and watch these people crumble. This is not anything we can do. And so this is a different Shabbat, and it is probably going to be a different Shabbat from here on out. I will be doing my own production per se, and there's only the 4 of us, which is very, very strange in our house. So we are the family who believes that the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the rules for all of our lives. They are everything that we should absolutely embrace. They are the ways of the future. They are the ways of the kingdom. And they are our ways right now. And our Creator has said, for all generations, I would like you guys to be obedient to me. And that's what our Creator has asked of us. And in return, He has given us life. He has given us blessings. He has given us supernatural messengers to watch us. He has given us a way to the kingdom. He gave us a life of His Son, that we are able to break that curse of the spiritual aspect of the Torah. It's that second death that the Son of the Most High has given to us, that we don't have to have that second death. Most of us will probably all have to walk through this physical death, but we don't have to be sent away. We don't have to be to a place of gnashing of teeth, and where the worms never end, and where your body is just in a state of despair. So this is what we believe. We have found what is close to the path to the kingdom, and the path to the kingdom isn't in 41,000 different religions. In fact, I have never found a single religion that actually corresponds with the words of Scriptures. 41,000 of them all have their ways. They all have their days of worship, and the days of worship and what they do and how they do are contrary to Scriptures. Now, if we're trying to align our lives to what Scriptures say because we're looking for a way out of this place at the end, well, it's not going to be in the hands of these preachers in these 501c3 churches that are taking people for 10% of their money in an unbiblical fashion there as well. So, Jade, let us get on. Actually, Cade, pray for us, if you will.
Personally, Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for your Shabbat, and we thank you for your rest, the day you have set apart for us. We ask that your Ruach HaKodesh is on us today as we dive into your word, as we find what you have written, as we find what you have put before us, as we go into your Son's words and what he said, and we ask that we find what you want us to find today, that we are able to understand and comprehend the words of the Torah, the words of your Son. Thank you for all. In his name, amen.
All right, and if you guys can lift this old couple up in prayer, it's Marlene and Fred are their names, and Dr. Fred is just turning 90 on today. Shabbat, he turned 90 today, and I think his wife is like 90 something.
She's 92.
She's 92.
8 months older than him.
No, she's 90
90.
as well.
Okay, so she's 90 as well, and I think she weighs about 74 pounds or something.
She's tiny.
She's extremely light. Prior to Boss Clan getting there, they hadn't been eating very well, so we are providing all food, everything that we can possibly do, trying to regain the strength of this older couple so that they aren't just their demise isn't such a horrible demise. And they are hardcore Christians, guys. They are hardcore Christians. They found the way. They're all saved. It's only Jesus. And we talk to them. We minister to them. And they are hardcore. So Our job is not simply just trying to keep them alive, but our job is trying to keep them spiritually alive. And when you get to that age of maturity, everybody has already found the way. And it's like a super Christian when you get that old. There's no other way. There's no other patterns. And they are not interested in the commandments of our Creator at all. I am just glad that I am not Yahuwah. I am glad that I have no part of the judgment of the people to come, because I don't know how I would judge these people, because they're nice people, right? They're nice people, but nice people don't make the kingdom, according to Matthew 7. And so we have to be very, very, very careful on our own paths, on our own walks, that we are aligning our lives up with Scriptures so that we are able to find this kingdom when the kingdom is here. But like Scriptures say, most people don't find the kingdom. Many are called, very few are selected. And so we are the people that are trying to strive with the very, very best that we can, and to take what our Creator has said and adjust our lives to this fashion. So Jade, will you please give us Deuteronomy 6, please?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. You shall bind them to the sign on your hand, and they shall be fronts between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Yeah, and this is, we always open this up with the Shema, guys. And it's a Shema simply means hear and obey, right? It's a two thing, right? It's not just it's not that we're told to just listen up, this is what it is, but we're also told to obey this in this simple Shema. And the majority of the world, if you look at the way they look, they absolutely don't love our Elohim with all their heart, or with all their being, or with all their might. And we have a commandment inside of these very limited words that we have right here. The commandment is that we need to be writing these words on the hearts of ourselves. We have to impress them upon the hearts, minds, and souls of our children. We speak of them when we sit in the house and when we walk by the way, right? Also when we lie down, when we get up, right? Put them as frontlets between your eyes. You can't, if you obeyed this Shema right here, there's absolutely no way you would walk into this world Torahless. If you loved the Creator of the universe with all your heart, mind, and soul, then you're going to love His words with all your heart, mind, and soul. And when you say the laws are gone or abandoned or have been, Messiah died so that we don't have a set of guidelines anymore, that's foolish talk. That's not what is in Scriptures. That goes against the words of our Messiah. And when people tell you that the laws are gone, that not only is like satanic, it is demonic, and it is a spell that most people are under, because they have been programmed into this big bad R word, which is called religion. And this religion is what takes people constantly, and they get owned. And so we are the few, the small amount of people that have been called. And if you are obeying His laws, statutes, and commandments, that means then we are on the right path. But even then, salvation is never guaranteed, right? Salvation is something we need to get to with trembling, with humbleness, with no pride, with hands cling, hearts cling, all of this. All right, so guys, what we're going to do right now, after Miss Nicole goes over all of our brothers and sisters on this stuff, we are going to go over these amazing, tremendous, spectacular laws of our Creator. Miss Nicole, who do we have?
We have Cindy LJ and Tess, her mom.
Hi, ladies.
And Ollie, but she's not there. But
Whenever
we'll still
Ollie's
see
there,
Ollie.
give Ollie a big hug from all of us, sis.
Candy and Ruby.
Hi, ladies.
Jeremy and Callan.
What's up, guys?
Jeannie Not of This World.
Hi.
Graham. Let's see. Irma. Sarah Baker. Sister Barb. Katrina, Quentin, and Claudia.
Hi.
Elizabeth, Mama CA. And I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Amazing.
But Irma does have a question.
What's up, Irma?
If someone died and never knew the true word of Yahuwah, will they be commended?
Commended or condemned?
Well, condemned, sorry.
I don't know. That's why I say I'm glad I'm not the creator of the universe. The thing about the book of the Nazarene that I'm still reading this, I'm still telling everybody should read about it and read it, because there's things inside of that will dial us in to a better understanding of what the Torah is. And in the book of the Nazarene, Messiah very clearly warns us that we don't look at one set of the Torah and make judgments based upon it without understanding the entire set of the Torah. It's not just one particular piece. It's not just one commandment. We have to look at life through the eyes of the entire Torah. That is why when we hear that people are Christians, the first thing we absolutely know is that Christians are a dangerous group of people. And before you guys start picking up the rocks and tomatoes and chucking them here, hear me out. When you are in any religion that you believe that the laws of our Creator don't apply to you anymore, that means you do not have a moral compass. You don't have a moral guide. You don't have a way of understanding. Ignorance is not going to be bliss when we're standing in the fire. We, as humans, have been given many chances to seek our Creator. Those who are looking for our Creator oftentimes find the path to our Creator based upon the ways that our Creator has put people in there, right? Our Creator knows everything. He knows what you need to see in your life to plant those seeds, and the seeds have been planted, right? We as humans are smart enough to either accept there's a Creator of the universe and seek Him and seek our hearts and align our lives into that direction, or we can just not care. And for those who just don't care, I don't think there's going to be any kind of mercy on when it comes to that. However, I don't know. And that is why, again, I am glad I am not a judge. I'm not a ruler on this. I am nobody. I'm a peasant sitting out in the middle of the jungle, that I'm screaming at all of you guys that we should be seeking this better way, that we should be seeking the laws of our Creator. And I don't know. I don't know what our Messiah and his dad are going to do. Like, for instance, these really old people, they are very nice people. They're very aged. They live to the ripe age of 90 years old, and in our time, that's a pretty good age to live to. But their fridges are full of pork, which we've been sticking in the trash. There was some pork downstairs. We dumped that in the trash. It looked expired to me, so I tossed that in the trash. It didn't look good. So those are the kind of things but they love their pork, right? And they don't care. They don't care about the laws of our Creator. And when you bring them up, they're like, Jesus got rid of all the laws. And it's like talking to anybody about this. Their eyes glaze over, and that programming comes right back into effect. And by their own ways, they're battling this. So I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some kind of jungle villages out in the middle of nowhere where nobody has ever heard of our Messiah. And they're going to have to go to judgment based upon that. So I don't know. So I guess that's the answer to that one. I just don't know. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go over these laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the life force of all of us. In fact, it can enhance your life so much that when you are keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, number one, we don't eat improperly, right? We don't eat the foods of the Gentiles. We don't eat the stuff that, I heard it the other day. Somebody was like, oh, pork's okay to eat now because science has come so far that we understand a little bit about it, right? That's the excuse that people have. Oh, Jesus made all the pork cling and everything else. But yet that same concept and that same logic is, why, when Grandpa dies, why don't they just put Grandpa in the stew pot, right? Let's just put Grandpa in there. That's a little extra meat. We can boil that down, and then we can have some soup, right? Grandpa soup. If we're eating unclean foods, what stops us from eating all of this other stuff, right? We have a set of guidelines that specifically tells us clean and unclean foods. And one of the things that isn't in there is human beings, because I don't think there was ever a concept, right? There's nothing that says we should or shouldn't eat it. We absolutely should not eat humans. They're not clean, right? That's the logic that we have to have. If it doesn't say that, we absolutely shouldn't be eating it. But it does tell us about pork, and it tells us all about this stuff, and we shouldn't be eating it. So, as we go through these laws, statutes, and commandments right here, this is what we're supposed to write on our heart, mind, and soul. This would be the frontlets between our eyes. And our apologies also for all the knocking on the roof. You guys, I've shown you guys the rooftop before. It's one of these things we can't do much about. So you'll have to bear with us and pretend it's rain, pretend it's something peaceful, and away we go. Number one, Torah command, be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it, have dominion of the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The earth bearing every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Slow down, gentlemen.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Regard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Reiterated, guys. Look at that. For those of you who are new to these readings, there's no commandment anywhere in Scriptures that is as big as this. Now, what is this command? It says, guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. It's the same thing. If somebody tells you to guard your family, guard your kids, right? You're not going to let some old dude grab a hold of your kids and take off with them, right before your eyes. That's the same thing. You have to guard these laws the same that you're guarding your family, because this will guard your family. These laws will keep you protected. They will keep your kids from rising up and becoming rebellious rebels doing horrible, horrible things. But it doesn't just happen. We have to embrace ourselves into this. We have to wash our lives with this. We have to wash our hearts with this. It has to be everything in our lives. It can't just be a willy-nilly thing that it doesn't work. Guarding means guarding, guys. And that's very, very important. There's no other commandment as big as that. All right, every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Eat the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah.
There is one Torah for the Hebrew, or one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Okay, and what we mean by this is what this command is. Guys, it doesn't matter what religion you guys have wandered in from to this channel. It doesn't, or to anything. It doesn't matter what indoctrination you have been indoctrinated with. Guys, indoctrination is a very relevant thing in this world. All of us are completely indoctrinated. People take their kids and they grow them up, and they celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and all of these pagan days, and they don't know, right? But when you know, when you come to understand that there is one law for whoever you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter your creed, it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter anything about it. There's one law, and this is the laws that we are reading right here. They don't change. They didn't change when our Messiah died on the tree, right? None of this. That was not the point of this. He did not die on the tree so that we didn't have to obey the laws of our Creator. That is part of that programming. Okay. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Okay, guys, take a look at the Shabbat. You know, you're seeing all these commands, right? You're seeing all these things, how they add up, how they line up. Shabbat is one of these things that is loaded, right? There's a lot of commands in this, and there's a tremendous more commands in the extracurricular books. And so when we're talking about a day of rest, a day that is the beginning of Sabbath keeping, of the beginning of Torah keeping, this is it. This is a very easy command that we can all dial in. This is a command that absolutely adjusts our life and aligns us into the path of our Creator. It's a day that our Creator has given to mankind, because mankind should not be working 7 days a week. And so when we do work 7 days a week, not only are we breaking commandments of our Creator, but we're breaking His health codes. The health code needs man to have a day of rest. And by us keeping this commandment, we are absolutely going to live longer, most likely. And we're also going to be in covenant with our Creator. Because people don't understand that. We're on a Sabbath day. What do we do on the Sabbath day? Well, we can read Scriptures, we can rest, we can eat, we can relax, we can get our bodies back in a working fashion, and we can get ready to grind the rest of this week, right? The next, starting on the day of the sun, the Sol Victus, that's day one of our Creator's calendar. Continuing on, honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that tool is touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
When a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
That includes laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
Do not sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress the stranger, love the stranger.
Leave your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. That is the land.
Do not make honorable person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
The Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie to the woman in her uncleanness.
No, you shall not sacrifice children of Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie, or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not averse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Pentecost, the overcount.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzareth.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, he must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Obel, the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The law of being a Nazir.
Wear zizi on the 4 corners of your garments.
The Torah of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
The law is the end of 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
The prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is the adult portions.
Your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the babies, with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that it will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant as poor and needy.
Every man should put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, leave for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot.
Okay. All right. Very, very much. We are doing this production thing here. All right, so here we are. Kate, I had it. I just going on, I was reading the rest of your stuff here, so it's okay. We're having a little difficulty here because we are not the production guy. Eli is our production dude that actually runs all of this. And so with him being gone, we're learning some new trades here as we are rolling through this. Okay, now we are, don't be a prostitute. It's that whole adult. Don't be an adulterer. Don't make somebody else an adulterer. It's not just a single act. Whenever it is, like prostitution, every time that's men and women, and men are. I I don't have the right word for it. I think slut is the right word. Men and women of today are extreme sluts. It doesn't matter what they are or who they are. It is a very, very sick world that we live in right now. And I'm sure it's a lot of times the women are the ones that get like beat on when it comes to prostitution. But every single man is as bad as any woman. I mean, it's a two-way street on this whole thing, and it's all evil in the sight of our Creator, right? And that's not what He wants us to do. Our Creator is about being faithful. Our Creator is about building families. Is about putting together something that is long term. And so when we're out there whoring ourselves and defiling other people and defiling ourselves, it's things that absolutely you cannot do. And that's why we have the rules in the Torah of adultery, right? If you are in a marriage and if you cheat on your husband or wife, that marriage is completely gone, right? You are not to go back to that spouse, or you have done further damage than what you have. So this is why the prostitution thing is very important that we understand. We need to keep our clothes on. As people of our Creator, it's better we were eunuchs and not sexually active than we are out there making other people adulterers and making ourselves adulterers and just making things far worse. Not to mention all the STDs they have out these days. I mean, there's a ton of them, and that's why being faithful and not cheating is a very good idea, if not the absolute best idea. Jade, will you tell us a little bit? Scoot up here so these guys can hear you on this. We are at right now. We've been through the book of Genesis. We are now on into Leviticus. Who's doing what? What's happening? And put it down, please.
Well, the temple isn't built. The people are now, the Levites are now learning about sacrifices. They've been ordained. They got some oil and some blood splashed on them, so they were anointed. They're now the chosen people. So we have learned all about different sacrifices and what to do when people do certain sins and what kind of they have with the sacrifice. And we are still learning about sacrifices and the children and the Levites having to do with their sacrifices.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we are into Leviticus. What did Sister Barb have to say on that? I missed that.
She says, had to learn that literally everything to ask if it is of Torah. All of this world is defiled. We are all we were taught before.
Yeah, absolutely. We all, most of us, I mean, grew up in lies. If you guys had Torah observant parents that are really truly Torah observant, you would be a very, very minority of a group of people. All of our parents are straight Gentiles, happy, raging Gentiles. They're cool with it. Christian as they can be from my mom. And they don't care what the heart, mind, and soul of our Creator has requested that we do and how we behave. So here we are. Leviticus 9, everybody. And on the 8th day, it came to be that Moshe called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Yisrael. And he said to Aaron, take for yourself a young bull as a sin offering and a ram as a burnt offering, a perfect one, and bring them before Yahuwah. And speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, take a male goat as a sin offering and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, perfect ones, as a burnt offering. And a bull and a ram as peace offerings to slaughter before Yahuwah, and a grain offering mixed with oil. For today Yahuwah shall appear to you. Okay, anyone have anything? We're dealing with it. We have 8th day, right? We have Moshe and Aaron. We're talking, we need to take a young bull and a ram, a perfect one, ages. But gentlemen, what do you say on this?
It's a year old.
Yeah,
everything is just, it's a year old and everything. It's young.
Old. And so how big do you think a year-old lamb is going to be?
I assume
lambs
it's gonna
don't
be
get very
quite
big.
I assume it's gonna be quite big, but it's not gonna be full grown up. Full grown until around
I
2 years.
don't think so. Even a 1-year-old cow isn't that big.
And we have 2 goats, and they're very small. These
Yeah,
things are
they're
like
like almost
extremely
3
small. And
years
they're
old.
like, yeah, they're 2 years.
In January they'll be 2, I think.
Yeah, so these things are pretty small, is what we're talking about here. Okay, 5. And they took what Moshe commanded before the tent of appointment, and all the congregation drew near and stood before Yahuwah. And Moshe said, this is the word which Yahuwah commanded you to do, so that the esteem of Yahuwah appears to you. Okay, this is a very important word, right? This is what our Creator wants us to do so that He will walk and dwell with us in this fashion, right? And a lot of people don't understand the entire sacrificial system. They just see it as some bloodbath or some crazy creator that's just killing out of everything. What people have to understand is this was the way that our Creator would allow for atonement of sin so that we're cling enough that he would walk with us, right? Because we are a filthy people that make a lot of very bad decisions, especially when it comes to Torah. And it doesn't take much to break Torah. It does not take. It takes negative thoughts. It takes evil. It takes bypassing a stranger when you could love that stranger. There's a lot of things we judged for the things we do not do as well as the things. And so that is, again, things that you don't get out of a lot of the other scriptures, but out of the book of the Nazarene, that is very much the case. Okay. And Moshe said to Aaron, go to the altar and prepare your sin offering and your burnt offering and make atonement for yourself and for the people, and make the offering of the people and make atonement for them as Yahuwah has commanded. So Aaron came near to the altar and slaughtered the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar and poured the blood at the base of the altar. And the fat and the kidneys and the appendage on the liver of the sin offering he burned on the altar as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the skin he burned with fire out of the camp. Okay, now this is the same setup that we've had in the other chapters, right? The same kind of stuff we put on the altar. We have the fat, we have the kidneys, we have the appendage. We have some other things, but we also have the flesh and skin, and probably the as well. So it's the same process and same procedure for different things. So it's not exactly complex like our Creator. If we were in this system, if we were a Levitical priest doing this, once we do the routine, I think it would be just a process. Okay. 12. And he slaughtered the burnt offering, and the sons of Aaron presented to him the blood, which he sprinkled on the altar all around. And they presented the burnt offering to him with his pieces and head, and he burned them on the altar. And he washed the entrails and the legs and burned them with the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offerings and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and he slaughtered it and made it a sin offering, like the first one. And he brought the burnt offering and made it according to the right ruling. He also brought the grain offering and filled his hand with it and burned it on the altar, besides the burnt offering of the morning. And he slaughtered the bull and the ram as peace offerings, which were for the people. And Aaron's sons presented to him the blood, which he sprinkled on the altar all around. And the fat from the bull and the ram, the fat tail and the covering and the kidneys and the appendage on the liver. And they placed the fat on the breast, and he burned the fat on the altar. And again, a lot of people don't understand. We have a commandment that says, do not eat the fat. And we see over and over and over in these scriptures that our Creator enjoys certain smells. And for those who think that we're, a bunch of monkeys on a spinning water ball 50 kabillion galaxies away, and that our Creator obviously has all these other earths and all these other things, and we're just an anomaly out in the middle of something spinning around, that's not what this says. It clearly says that the earth is the foundation, it is the footstool of our Creator. And if he's sitting there enjoying the sweet savor, the same kind of savor that if we go into a steak shop, right, or smell that steak, that's what our Creator is understanding. And so we are created in his form, in his image, right? If we can smell these wonderful, great smells, and yeah, like someone in there said, it's a barbecue, right? It is the sweet savor. And that's what our Creator wanted from us, right? It's not this bloodletting, kill all the animals, do all this kind of stuff. And when people get very, very confused because people do not read the scriptures. And so they just look at this and they go, oh yeah, that's why the laws are dead, because our Creator, he was crazy, right? He was out there killing all these animals, and that's not the way it is. But in a world that walks amongst human beings in either a fire or a cloud by day, that's how he wanted us to act. That's the only way that he would walk with us, because we keep doing very bad things. And Israel as a people, all of us as a people, have never come back under this covenant. And that's why Israel had all these issues. That's why they've always had these 21, right, fellas?
Yep.
Okay, but the breasts and the right thigh Aaron waved as a wave offering before Yahuwah, as Moshe had commanded. Aaron then lifted up his hand toward the people and baraked them, and came down from making the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And Moshe and Aaron went into the tent of appointment and came out, and Baruch blessed the people, and the esteem of Yahuwah appeared to all the people. And fire came out from before Yahuwah and consumed the burnt offering and the fat on the altar. People saw and cried aloud and fell on their faces. Wow. Guys, this is a big thing, right? I mean, we don't see these kind of things in this day and age, right? We don't see anything like this. We know our Creator's out there. We know He's waiting for us. We know there's a kingdom. And in this kingdom, guys, we're going to be bringing back probably sacrifices would be my guess. Definitely. All of the appointed times. Passover, Feast of Trumpets, Sukkot. All of these same things that we have been told and that we have been told to obey, Shema, hear and obey, we're going to go into this kingdom. And when we read through the book of the Nazarene, it scares me, guys. The book of the Nazarene scares me personally because it reveals to me all of my downfalls, all of these things where I'm like, I've always taken the Torah and I'm like, this is what it is right here. We cannot cross this. We cannot do this. And when we read the book of the Nazarene, it's a lot like that, but we have to understand all of the Torah to make these right decisions. We can't make certain judgments based on certain things. We have to have the entire Torah, which is why we are told to write the Torah on our heart, mind, and soul, right? That's why we have Deuteronomy 6. That is what our Shema is. And if we don't have Torah written on our hearts, if we don't understand the way our Creator wants us to function and act, that's up to us. And we are going to be the ones who pay that price. And this is why we are always out there, guys, begging people to read this Torah, to love this Torah, to fall in love with it. Guys, there's no greater love in your life than the Torah that our Creator has given to us. There's even life itself without the Torah isn't a blessing, right? Because we would go into abomination. But yet our Creator has given us a way out. And if we will simply obey His voice, obey what He says, write it on the heart, mind, and souls of our kids and our family, and make it part of our life, that's the way forward. And again, it doesn't guarantee salvation. There's no verses anywhere I've ever found in Scriptures where salvation is guaranteed. That once saved, always saved hoax that we've all heard about, that's not biblical. That just does not involve Scriptures. Okay, now we are heading over to another amazing book, and it is Matthew 9. And for those of you guys who are, Jade's taking off because he doesn't want to do a recap. Kate, go ahead and do a recap real quick on this.
So we have Yahushua. He was born in a manger. And we had him meet John the Baptist, and when he met John the Baptist, he was baptized. He went out and when he started his ministry, he is now healing and he is teaching, and he's now running into the Pharisees, now running into his biggest opposition of people, which is the Pharisees.
Yeah, and I will point something out again, like I have learned from the book of the Nazarene, that what Messiah said. I've always gone into the book of Matthew with the Pharisees and the Sadducees as being bad, right? Being completely bad. And I don't think that is the case. And as I read and as I study the book of the Nazarene, Messiah says that the Pharisees kind of took over the job of the Nebiim, the prophets. And not all of them, according to what Messiah says, have issues. But he says there's definitely ones with issues. And so that's something I learned from the book. And I've always, when people say, Pharisees or Sadducees, I've always looked at that as people that just take the law and do completely other things. But I don't believe that is the right understanding. I believe that everybody was seeking this. And they definitely had the Pharisees that rewrote their own laws, right? You have a group of people, and when you bring in what they call the oral law or the Talmud, the Mishnah, and all of these outside things, guys, those things didn't come to us until after Babylon. And a lot of what they call the oral Torah, when you read the oral Torah, especially a book called the Sanhedrin, there's all sorts of stuff in there that go against Torah. One of the 3-year-old children. Now, that's when people are like, and I'm like, no, I'm not Jewish. I'm a Bible guy, right? I love from the front of the book to the end of the book. But if we bring into it, by default, we are breaking Deuteronomy 4:2, right? We're not supposed to add or take away from it. And so they have tons and tons. I mean, there's hundreds of books in this oral Torah, and they are not things that are good. And my apologies, my dog just came flying in, so that is the breaks here with having 9 dogs. So we're settling them down and we're getting ready to read. Sorry, guys, for the distractions on this. Okay, here we go. Matthew 9. And entering into a boat, he passed over and came to his own city. We're talking about Messiah Yahushua. And for those who do not know who Yahushua is, I am talking about Jesus Christ. I'm talking about Jesus, who they call Jesus. There were no J's in Hebrews, guys. The letter J was not invented till the years 1500. It's like 1529 when we actually had a J. There was absolutely no J in the Hebrew alphabet. And so there's no way our Messiah would have ever been called Jesus. And so if you're looking for only the only name under heaven by which men may be saved, and we got the wrong name, we got the son of Zeus, and we're saying that even if we don't know, when we do know, we should change it, right? And I know a lot of folks, I don't know if it's Yahushua, Yeshua, or something very, very close to that, but it's very much closer than the word Jesus. And so when we're talking about Yahushua, which is Matthew is kind of his book, that's who I'm talking about. All right, I'm checking out chat real quick. What did Sister Rose say on that last thing?
Jerusalem and Babylonian. They're different.
Okay. Always interesting stuff from Sister Barb. Okay, here we are. Verse 2 says his name shall be called Emmanuel. You know, that's an actual mistranslation on that entire Isaiah 7. When you actually look through which was it?
Septuagint.
Yeah, the Septuagint. When you reread that into the Septuagint, because a lot of people will go for that verse and they will say, hey, Jesus is God. They will say Yahushua is Yahuwah. But I will tell you, from the beginning of the book to the end of the book and all the extra books, there is no such thing. Messiah very clearly says that he is the son, and he is taking on all of his orders and all of his things from the dad. And so that is one of these things that in indoctrination, I don't know how to actually fix that, because majority of religion believes that the two are one. And, you know, that takes us back to Nimrod, Tammuz, Semiramis, or Semiramis as the wife, and then Tammuz as the son, right? The father, the son, and then the mystical child. So there's a lot of pagan stuff in this. And so the father is the father, the son is the son. The father gave the son as the ultimate sacrifice. And the son always comes saying he's calling in his father's name. He's doing all of his stuff. And we have to look at it like this. If we're okay with our Messiah being a filthy liar, that he would be the father and the father's the son, and they're hoaxing us throughout all these books, that breaks Torah, right? That breaks the exact same foundational, functional belief that our Creator has given to us. I do not believe the Creator of the universe is going to hoax us, and I don't believe he's going to die at the hands of Hasatan himself. I believe he allowed his son to be that ultimate sacrifice, to be that prized lamb for us, but it's not the father. The father didn't die. And it's very, very important that we know this, because a lot of people will pray to Messiah. And we don't have a single scriptures anywhere that says we should be praying to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, or to anyone other than Yahuwah. And so all we have is we have the words of the Son, we have the words of scriptures, and we have to look at everything in a whole. We can't take a single verse and go, look, that says this. We had to research it if those are the questions. And I don't know if I actually got that right.
She has another question.
All right, hit it.
She says, Yehoshua says, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's very, very true. Take a look at this, guys. Right now, we're taking care of some really old folks, right? Fred and Marlene. And they have known me for about 10 years. And now that they are to the point of almost bedridden, can't move around, I have sent my son. And my son represents me. And I could say the same thing to Dr. Fred and Marlene. If you have seen me, you have seen the Father, right? My kids are out there doing the will of what I am wishing them to do. Before our creation, before our Creator and his Son were together. In fact, particular books that the Torah, the entire laws of our Creator were built before creation. They knew this probably thousands of years before our Creator ever took the light and the dark and separated it and did all this kind of stuff. They knew, they walked it. Messiah was not a brand new entity under creation. Wherever Messiah was, whatever realm they live in, whatever world they are in, they knew each other, the Father and the Son grew up with the Father. He knows his wishes. And that is why when the Son came and walked the Torah perfectly, he was literally the Torah made flesh. Because it's like me sending my son to these old people's houses. If my son would not pick them up when they fall, or would not take care of them, or would not feed them, my son isn't representing me, and he's going to get beat. But I do know that my sons are there, and they're taking care of them because they're doing the wishes of their father. And so I hope that answers all of that. All right, I think that is it. If you guys have any other questions, pop them in. I love chatting with you all, and I think this is good that we can actually have a place that we can chat on this stuff. Okay, heading into verse 2. And see, they were bringing him a paralytic lying on a bed. And Yahushua, seeing their belief, said to the paralytic, "Take courage, son, your sins have been forgiven." Okay, yeah, and this is one of these things right here. This is where the Pharisees and the Sadducees, this sentence, right? Your sins have been forgiven. This is stuff they have never heard before. They don't understand who Messiah is, and what they say in 3, and see, some of the scribes said to themselves, "This one blasphemies," right? And if you didn't know, and if you were unable to read the scriptures and understand the prophets, and you didn't know that the Son of the Most High came and was saying things like this, you're going to be very, very upset, and they were. Okay, 4. And Yahushua, knowing their thoughts, said, "Why do you think wickedness in your hearts? For which is easier to say, your sins have been forgiven, or to say, arise and walk? But in order for you to know that the Son, the Ben of Adam, possesses authority on earth to forgive sins," he then said to the paralytic, "Rise, take up your bed, and go to your house." And he rose and went to his house. Do we have anything in the chat?
No.
Okay. So this is an incredible thing, right? This is Messiah. This is the Word made flesh, walking among the people. Things like this we don't understand. We don't understand how out of nowhere sins can be forgiven by the Son, right? But we know the Son is our representative. If there is a legal presence for us in the face of the Father, it is going to be the Son. And this is the understanding that when the kingdom comes, our Messiah, our King, our leader is going to be the Son of the Creator. That's who's going to be running this show. And this is why it's important that we understand, that we know what our Messiah is even talking about. Okay, 8. Praised Elohim, who had given such authority to men. And as Yahushua passed on from there, he saw a man called Maandiko sitting at the tax office. And he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and he followed him. And it came to be as Yahushua sat at the table in the house that, see, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat down with him and his Talmidim, which are disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to Talmidim, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" And Yahushua, hearing this, said to them, "Those who are strong have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire compassion and not offering, for I did not come to call the righteous to repentance, but sinners." This is huge stuff, right? These are things that doesn't make a lot of sense. When you guys read the book of the Nazarene, Messiah is always getting messed with, right? We don't have a lot of the exact stories. And in fact, we don't even know why people like Matthew and people like Kepha, Peter, when they heard from the shores to come and follow me, why those people would just take what they had and they would just go follow. We don't understand Hebrew culture enough or in the entire situation to actually know what that means. But Messiah is very clearly here for the sick, right? That's the same, and this is the same lesson that we all have, right? You're not going to find those who need our Creator sitting amongst those who are close to you, right? It's usually the people that you walk by, the people who, the waitress in the restaurant with tears in her eyes, who you know there's something wrong with her, and you know you should be saying something. You should sit down and pray with her, and help her. And those are the sick. Those are the people, and they're all around us, every single one of them. And we have to be strong enough. We have to be courageous enough to be that same kind of person that we care about people. We desire compassion, right? And it reminds me of our Creator, where he says, I want obedience and not sacrifice. And people just don't understand what that means. What that means is our Creator wants us to obey. He wants us to be an in-covenant people. You do not become an in-covenant people when you think that the laws of our Creator are gone and you don't care about them, because that doesn't happen. Nowhere in Scriptures does that ever say that the laws are gone. It just doesn't say that. Okay, continuing on.
Cindy does have a question, but I'll ask you after you finish this.
Okay, where are we at, everyone?
Here on 14.
14. All right. Then the Talmidim of Yochanan, John the Baptist, John the Immerser, came to him saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but your Talmidim do not fast? Messiah says, and Yahushua said to them, are the friends of the bridegroom able to mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the day shall come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they shall fast. And I will take it to the book of the Nazarene again, because Messiah very clearly says that if you're just fasting as a routine, if this isn't part of anything like a spiritual find, then it's just simply a routine. It doesn't mean anything. If you're simply just doing something because everybody else is doing it and it doesn't have, you're not fasting for the right reasons, then you're fasting for no reason at all. Okay, continuing on, 16. And no one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch pulls away from the garment and the tear is made worse. Messiah uses this over and over and over, this particular piece. Neither do they put new wine into old wineskins, or else the wineskins burst and the wine is spilled and the wineskins are ruined. But they put new wine in fresh wineskin, and both are preserved. Now, when you get over to the King James version of this is years and years ago. People believed that there's this thing called the Mandela effect. They believed, and part of their reasoning of this so-called Mandela effect was that everybody who's never read the Bible all of a sudden decided that this particular verse right here, because in the King, it talks about putting new wine into bottles, right? And everybody's like, oh, there were no such thing as bottles back in that day. And so everybody's like, well, this is the Mandela effect and blah, blah, blah. But when you actually look at the translations, it was in the King, it was always bottles. And they didn't use bottles back then, right? We're talking about, when they're talking about wineskins, we're literally talking about skins of animals that they put this in. And the process of this is you can't use these wineskins over and over, because in the process of fermentation, that wine and those wineskins get very, very big, and then they get small, and they go through a whole process. And if you were to put wine into an old wineskin, then that skin would be all hard and flaky. And when that wine expanded in there with the fermentation process, it's going to blow out everywhere. It's going to be a mess. And so that's what Messiah is talking about right here. All right, what you have, Mr. Cole?
Sarah, she says, what is your opinion on when and how we should fast? You answered half of my question, not to do it on a schedule. So thank you for that.
Well, fasting is going. There's biblical fasts, and there is there's the day of the Day of Atonement, and it doesn't technically say to fast, but it says afflict your souls. As far as there's a lot of people that do biblical fast, and they will follow that routine. Fasting is one of those things that this is something between you and our Creator, right? This is something that is something that you're doing for a reason. You're doing it for a process. You're doing it for a reason. If it's just something that is a routine thing that doesn't mean anything, that's what Messiah says. As far as biblical fast go, what do we have? We know there's a couple, right? I don't think we have like a fast. I do know that certain people will do it. I do know that the Jews have it in there. They actually have like days and times and things like that. They completely fast. So I don't exactly have days on this on the schedule. There's just a couple in scriptures that it is. But if you want to fast and you're fasting for Yah and you're fasting for issues, you're fasting for reasons, you can do that anytime, right? Stay in prayer, stay in fasting, and you will see mountains being able to be moved. And if nothing else, it's definitely a spiritual experience, especially, I don't know how long as a fasted. I fasted like 10 or 11 days before. I think I did like half a month one time. And after the first 4 or 5 days, it gets really incredible with what happens. And the body doesn't actually even need the food that it always gets. And so fasting thing. And we should all obviously be fasting, but I don't think that it's set on a schedule. So I don't know if that, you guys in the comments have something, or you guys have scheduled dates or something. I mean, definitely let's talk about this. I don't have scheduled dates per se. Came from the Mormon cult, so every first Sunday was a fast day. Yeah. Yeah, that's not, that's the Mormons. That's a very funny religion of all things. It's most people don't know that the leader, Joseph Smith, was actually a Freemason. And so there was a tremendous amount of Freemasonry put into this. For those who do not know about the Mormon religion, very, very funny. They have their Doctrine and Covenant, they have their Book of Mormon, which I called the Bomb. And they also had the Words of Wisdom, which I called the Wow. And I did a lot of studying with a lot of Mormons, a lot of time, way back when I was a youth. I went through all their stuff. I went through all their little seminary stuff. I was like seeking stuff. So know a lot about that religion, but I don't remember the fasting. So that must have been like beyond where I was studying that. But yeah, that's one cult of a religion, completely an abomination, a satanic religion. But I would say that with every single religion that you call a religion that is satanic. The only possible thing that you would ever get out of any kind of religion is possibly your eyes being opened that you need to get out of that religion and go seek the Creator. That's the only thing you could possibly do, and maybe sitting around a whole bunch of what they call Jack Mormons or Jack Christians, the guys that are, are just. That's the thing is the Mormons have this fake reputation of being like these goody two shoes, and I'll tell you, hanging out with the Mormons, they're like everybody else. They're absolutely not Torah keepers. Same as Christians, right? It's a dangerous religion. When you have a religion without rules and regulations, it becomes very, very dangerous. Okay, let's continue on. Matthew 9. And no one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch pulls away from the garment, and the tear is made worse. Very, very true. For anybody that's done any kind of sewing at all, that is great advice right there, right? Or understanding. Neither do they put new wine in wineskins, or else, I guess I already read this. I'm going to do it again, though. Thanks for the help, fellas. Or else the wineskins burst, and the wine is spilled, and the wineskins are ruined. But they put new wine into fresh wineskins, and both are preserved. While he was saying all this to them, see, a ruler came and bowed down to him, saying, my daughter is dead by now, but come and lay your hand on her, and she shall live. And Yahushua rose and followed him, his town Midian too. And see, a woman who had a flow of blood for 12 years came from behind and touched the tzitzit of his garment. For she said to herself, if I only touch his garment, I shall be healed. Okay, before we go into that next part of this is an incredible story, right? So we have a wonderful woman who has issues, right? She has had some problems, and it just doesn't fix itself. She can't get any help. Nothing's working. And this is where the tzitzits come in, right? This is where you have the correct translation. Guys, this is why one of the reasons we should be wearing tzitzits, right? The right colored tzitzits. Blue, a blue thread, not the white Jewish ones, because people will know what you know by what you wear. And this could be something that people come up to you and go, tell us about your tzitzits, and you can have this opportunity right here to walk them through what the law, statutes, and commandments are. The real reason Messiah came, right? Tzitzits are a sign of the people of Yah, and it's something we're told to wear. Numbers 15:38 is the commandment. And so this is an amazing thing that it's, in all the other translations, people say, she grabbed his clothes or the corners of it. It wasn't. It was the tzitzit, right? All she had to do was reach up there and she grabbed that. And her faith was so strong that 22 says, Yahushua turned, and when he saw her, he said, take courage, daughter, your belief has healed you. And the woman was healed from that hour. And when Yahushua came into the ruler's house, he saw the flute players and the crowd making a noise. And he said to them, go back, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping. And they laughed at him. Messiah is the master of being laughed at, and not taking a billy club and beating them all, because most of us would not be okay with everywhere we go. People are laughing, cracking jokes. The book of the Nazarene talks about Messiah. Everybody going, why don't you heal yourself, healer? Why don't you go out there, doctor, and heal yourself? And that's why he says, it's hard to be a prophet in your own country, because everyone thinks they know you and they don't. So Messiah's sitting there, and we have all these people, and the girl is dead. They're making noise. Their people are crying. They have their weepers out there. And he says, she's not dead. She's sleeping. And they laughed, right? There we go. 25. But when the crowd was put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl arose. And this report went out into all the land, right? We hadn't heard of people, we don't have a tremendous, before Messiah, we don't have a lot of people being raised from the dead. Who do we got?
Elisha raised the one kid from the dead.
Yep.
The one that touched Elisha's bones came back from the dead.
Yeah, Elisha's bones. But we don't know if he died immediately. We just know he popped up and came back to life. There's not a tremendous amount of scriptures where people are brought back to life. And so we had all these people standing outside the house. Messiah goes in. They're all laughing at him. He kicks them out, and the girl rises up. Can you imagine this, right? You know what, when people talk, little villages, little towns, this went spreading out through all the lands. This is amazing. Hey, Sister Barb wears tzitzits. Nice. That's good. That's good. Hey, the commandment is to wear tzitzit. It doesn't say if it's under. It doesn't say where it's at. It says to wear tzitzits. And so
Sarah asked, are tzitzits only for men, or are they for both sexes?
it's for the sons. It's for the sons of Yah, sons and daughters, right? The commandment is for all of us. And you will find these people that are like, oh, women should not wear tzitzits. And I don't find that anywhere. The commandment is sons of Yashrael, sons and daughters of Yashrael are to wear tzitzits. And it is a... we've been doing it now, I don't know how many, like a decade, 7, 8 years. It's been a long, long time. And we have had more encounters with people that have become lifetime friends or associates because we wear them out there. When we first came down here into this third world country, we went to this little market and we had tzitzits on. And immediately we had these other people come up to us and now we've known these people for like 10 years. So it has been a very, very long time. And tzitzits are... they're an amazing thing, and the Judaism actually makes their clothes so these things go like they can taper them to the inside of this. I've never found anything like that in scriptures. It says wear them on the four corners of your clothes of your trunk, and so we have what we call a zit belt, and it's just a webbed belt that you hook the zits into, and so it's super fast. I don't leave my house. I don't go anywhere without my zits on. None of us do. We all wear our zits and every time I end up like forgetting them or doing something, I'm like, man, I might be in danger here. I don't got my zits on. You know, it feels like I'm out of covenant, but our Creator knows. And so, yeah, zits are for men and they're for women and they are for the children of the Most High. Okay. Yeah, protection says you are Yah, and that's it, absolutely, and that's what we want to be, right? We want to look different than the world, taste different than the world. We don't want to be the world, and tzitzits are one of those little itty bitty tiny things that will start the separation from this world. Okay.
25.
All right. Yeah, tzitzits are like a wedding ring. Absolutely, no doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. That is it. That is it. No, that is the best line I think I've seen all day long, because that is absolute truth. It is like a wedding band, right? We are Yah's, you know, and again, it's not a whole bunch of colors. Like the Judaism has only whites, right? They only have white in their tassel because they said they can't get blue, but the commandment is a blue tassel. It's a blue thread. And so if we're putting white into our tzitzits and wearing them around, we're breaking that commandment as well. But you go and report, you go and talk to any Jews about that. They're like, I got to go talk to the rabbi, and they always come back like the next week and they're like, well, the rabbi says we don't have that color anymore. We don't have whatever we get that from and whatever. Anyway, we live in a strange world. Okay, let's continue on.
It helps us find each other too. The lost sheep.
Yeah, actually it does. It would. And that's one of the things when you go through scriptures. I've always come to the understanding that at the end of times, the people that are lost are going to be looking for those with blue tassels on, and they're going to say, take us to your Elohim, take us to the Messiah. And that's the beginning right there of opening scriptures and talking to them and beginning to do this work. And, our Creator is going to send these people in. It is our job to make sure that we are active in the field, that we are taking every last opportunity that we can fish for men, that we can seek those who are willing to find the kingdom. It's up to us, right? And that's another thing in the book of the Nazarene that I found out is that when Messiah talks about the hand of Yah, he uses people. Like, he doesn't technically have to do it himself. He uses all of those around him, and we are the soldiers of the kingdom. And if the soldiers of the kingdom are unwilling to go out and be courageous and to seek those and to be laughed at, because our Messiah, our King, he's sitting here getting laughed at, right? He's getting scorned everywhere he goes. He's the most powerful man that has ever walked this world. And he's sitting there showing us the example that he didn't kick him in the head, right? They laugh at him. He probably looked at them with sadness in his eyes that they just don't understand. But that's who our example is. And that's why we have a Messiah, so that we know how to walk this path. Okay, continue on. You have something?
No, just Sister Barb said that she was at the market and didn't know this gal that was wearing them, and they live far apart, and she saw that on her and knew that she was our sheep.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are Yah's people, right? Those are the commandment keepers.
Just
Find
like
them.
how Larry chased you through.
Yeah. The people chased us all through these markets because of the tzitzits. All right, continue on. 25. But when the crowd was put outside, he went in, took her by the hand, and the girl arose. Actually, 26. And this report went out into all the land. And as Yahushua passed on from there, 2 blind men followed him, crying out and saying, Ben David, have compassion on us. So he's saying, Son of David, have compassion on us. And when he came into the house, the blind men came to him. And Yahushua said to them, Do you believe that I am able to do this? They said to him, Yes, Adonai, yes, Master. Then he touched their eyes, saying, According to your belief, let it be to you. And their eyes were opened, and Yahushua strictly ordered them, saying, See, let no one know. And again, we have all these people, and we've talked about this before, that Messiah tells a lot of people, don't let other people know. And the first thing that any of us as human beings are wanting to do is when we get healed, when we feel better, when somebody does something good for us, we want to tell others about that, right? And so these words probably fell on deaf ears, but they didn't fall on blind eyes. And so this is simply amazing. And this story right here, again, I got to bring up the book of the Nazarene because I have learned so much about this. Because one time, Messiah's out there with all his disciples. You got some sound effects. You got that bang, right? He's out there with all his disciples, right? And there's what they said in the book was there's a very ugly man who was very, very ugly. And he just didn't look good. And the people are laughing at this ugly man. The ugly man is coming to Messiah. He's like, Messiah, Messiah. And these people are like, shut up, ugly man. Don't scare the master. Don't scare the teacher. At that point, Messiah turns around and brings this individual into the front of all these people, this really ugly man, right? And he says, why are you guys so ruthless to this man that has the spirit of Yah that shines way brighter than anyone out there, right? I learned something from that, right? I should not be judging people that I see. I should not be even having these thoughts in my head. I should be, every time I do that, I'm like, that guy's ugly or this ugly. I should be looking in the mirror and understanding that these people could potentially have the strength of the Ruach HaKodesh way stronger than I ever have. These people could be way closer to Elohim and to his son than I have ever been. And when we're judging people like this, the book of Nazarene says very clearly there will not be a thought of evil that goes through our head that is not recorded, that we will not have to discuss on another day in judgment. So we all need to take these people we judge as ugly and understand that in their hearts, minds, and souls, they are beautiful. They are far more beautiful than most of us. And these are the people that are the kingdom people. It's not going to be these beautiful, holly, weirdos, psychopaths, Satanists that are making this stuff. It's going to be the broken sheep. It's going to be all of us who are willing to get on our knee and obey these laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and find the better way to the kingdom. Okay, continuing on. Gentlemen, anyone know where we're at? Okay, I got a 30 and a 31.
31.
Okay, 31. But when they went out, they made him known in all the land. And as they were going out, see, they brought to him a man, dumb and demon-possessed. And when the demon was cast out, the dumb one spoke. And the crowds marveled, saying, it was never seen like this in Yisrael. But the Pharisee said, he cast out demons by the ruler of the demons. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their congregations, proclaiming the good news of the reign and healing every disease and every bodily weakness among the people. Guys, there's something we should absolutely discuss here, right? Because Messiah is always casting out demons. This is something that you have to understand. Now, we have this crazy guy that we call him the crazy guy because he just wanders the town. And we've seen him probably for about 6 or 7 years. And he literally goes up and down. And he's always like talking to himself, screaming, throwing stuff. I mean, the guy he's really odd. I've always wondered if this dude is possessed by demons. I've always wanted to put hands on and try something, but I don't know. But obviously from this story, this one who was mute, who couldn't even speak anymore, this was all caused by demonic activity, things of this nature. And so Messiah is getting jammed. People are like, oh, you can only cast out demons because you are a demon. You're casting out by the power of demons. And this is where Messiah always talks about a house divided. This is where you do not want to get into a debate with the Creator's Son, right? You're not going to hold any kind of weight, any kind of value. That's why most people, when Messiah thumped them, they didn't say a word. They had to go back to their little friends, and they all had, as individuals, they didn't have any negotiating power. They did not have any sway when it comes to the Torah made flesh. Okay. Let's continue on real quick on this. Now, one thing I did want to point out is the Messiah came. Now, we have all these religions, and everybody's waiting on the giant yellow school bus that says rapture on the side of it with Messiah driving the bus, and everybody's in there eating their pork as they're driving off into the heaven, right? That is truly what the Christians believe. Well, what did Messiah say? Well, Messiah said right here, he came and he's proclaiming the good news of the reign. What reign are we talking about? Is this the rapture? Are we all going to heaven? Is this the reign of heaven he's talking about? No, this is the reign. This is Mount Zion. This is the New Jerusalem. This is the place Messiah and whatever few people there are going to be with him. He's not talking about the rapture. And so when the Christians are all sitting there just thinking they're living in sin like the greatest of the Gentiles, and that somehow the creator of the universe who said, don't do these things, I don't want you to do them. And then his son said, depart from me, you who are doing this. Somehow they can never ever see the writing on the wall. Now, continuing on 36, and having seen the crowds, he was moved with compassion for them because they were weary and scattered as sheep having no shepherd. Then he said to his Talmudian, the harvest truly is great, but the workers are few. The harvest would send out the workers to his harvest. This is us. We are the workers. The harvest is amongst us. The people are out there, but nobody will ever come unless we are diligent farmers. We aren't diligently farming the spiritual world here in this physical world, then we absolutely are going to be fishing for men. The entire point of the kingdom to come is that this is the good news. The reign of Elohim will be here soon. The reign of his son will be here soon. It is not going to be a reign that is bent in sin. We have rules. We will have regulations. If you do not know the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, why would you ever be taken to a land where the laws, statutes, and commandments have to be followed? Where holiness, where the Ruach HaKodesh, where we need to be very, very amazing people. One last thing I want to touch on is another thing out of the book of the Nazarene. When he was talking to his disciples about John the Baptist, John the Immerser, Messiah said that every single person in the reign of the kingdom to come has to excel John the Baptist. That we have to do better than what John the Baptist did. And John the Baptist was the man. If you guys don't understand, the guy that was sitting in camel's hair and eating honey and preaching the way, the making the way straight for the Messiah, that's who we have to excel in, my friends, when the kingdom comes. So this path is not something that is it's a set and forget. It's not a raise your hand. It's not just an easy thing. We have to work hard for this, and the kingdom will be there for those who are working it. So guys, with that, I think that's the end of this. If there's nothing else in chat, what did Miss Cindy have back in the
She wanted to know what you would say to Catholics. What would you say to Catholics? I know how evil the religion is, but my son's grandma thinks I'm possessed because I won't praise the Mother Mary thing.
Yeah, well, Mother Mary thing, I'm sure she was an absolutely wonderful woman. I don't think that the Son of the Most High would come through anything other than an incredibly amazing woman. And the thing is, there's every religion, call it Catholics, Mormons, whatever, there's everything about it satanic. Let's go into a mass. Guys, I mean, that's like next to a black mass. So you're going to a mass, you're having people that are not real priests based upon the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and they will sit in a room and they will say your sins have been forgiven. Say 7 Hail Marys, don't do it again, here's some penance. The entire religion of Catholicism is completely satanic and is based on Satan's ways. But all religions are. There is no religion that I would not deem as satanic. And again, the only thing that religion could possibly do is hopefully open your eyes that everybody around you in this so-called religion is not doing what Scripture says. Anything else?
One more thing. This is from Brian. He says in Matthew 7:21-23, Brother Jason, I had someone tell me that I'm misunderstanding it and says that Messiah is talking about people before in 15.
20, what is it? 7 what?
21-23.
Yeah, this is, don't get me going on this one, Brian. This is absolutely the Christian conundrum right here, right? The Christians, I've heard this before too. The Christians like, oh, this applies to other people. This does not apply to Christians at all.
They tell them that it was to the people in 15.
It was to the people in 15, but be aware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. No, because it continues on, right? 15 goes into this. 16 goes, by their fruits you shall know them. So every tree that yields good fruit. Look, this is all of us, right? This is not just false prophets that are dealing with this, right? By our fruits, they will know us, right? The same kind of thing. Are we producing good fruits? This is for everybody, and this is the problem with taking scriptures out of context, is you will say, okay, this applies to this applies to this. Guys, there was never numbers on these scriptures. There was never chapters on these scriptures. I don't know what year they actually put all this stuff together. Prior to this, it was all a giant scroll that was put together. And so if I don't see what they're saying on this, it clearly says, let's read this. It says, not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai. He's saying that not everybody who says to me, Master, Master. It says everyone. This is not talking about the dudes in 15, right? 15, the false prophets aren't everyone. If you're talking about false prophets, those are someone. But now we're talking about everyone. And it says, not everyone who says to me, Master, Master, right? You have how many Christians out there that say, Lord, Lord? How many say out there, Master, Master? Not everyone who says to me, Master, Master, shall enter into the reign of the Shamayim, right? Not everyone who says it. But he who is doing the desire, the will of my Father in the Shamayim. Are you obeying the laws, statutes, and commandments? That is the desire of the creator of the universe, is that you follow his ways. Because many shall say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not done? Have we not nabbed? Have we not prophesied in your name? Have we not cast out demons in your name and done many mighty works in your name? And I shall say, declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. People need to understand basic English, right? We have things like everyone, everybody, someone, him, her, right? These are all talking to all of us. Everyone is all of us, right? We have an entire set of religion right now that says just these things. You have all of these Christians that have these, what is that thing that Diane goes to all the time? The
Deliverance.
Oh, the deliverance. They have all these deliverance conferences, right? Where these Christians go and they think that they actually have power over demons when they're using wrong names and they're using all of this stuff, right? Guys, it's all about, the entire scriptures from the front to the back is about obedience. Will we be obedient or will we be lawless? And Matthew 7 very clearly says to everyone, this is not just the false teachers, this is absolutely everyone, depart from me, you who work lawlessness. So for anybody that doesn't care about what the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator say, verse 23 is your final sentence. It's the last thing you're going to hear before you're shipped away to a place that you can never get out of, where there is gnashing of teeth and it's just a horrible, demonic end for all the existence, and there's no way out. I've never seen in the scriptures anywhere that you get out. I've had people argue with me that the creator of the universe isn't going to doom everybody, but the creator of the universe gave us all 120 years, and it is by our fruits that our creator will know us. And so we have this path, and we gotta go. Okay.
Hold on.
What do we got?
The Grand says, choosing a president, yes or no? Part of coming out of her, my people?
Yeah, absolutely don't vote. When you guys vote, you are voting and you are becoming complicit with it, which is another reason I say that if you are able to not pay taxes, and again, I'm not saying anything against the law, because there are no laws on the U.S. books that you actually have to pay income taxes. That is something that we do voluntarily, and the people who are able to get around it can figure this out. Guys, what was the question again? That was it. Yeah, so
coming out.
Yeah, don't vote for people. I mean, what happens? I mean, they're both a controlled opposition. They're both the same sides of the exact same coin. It doesn't matter if you have a bumbling old timer that is a theater. It's all theater, guys. Everything.
They have the same puppet master.
They have the same puppet master. They have Satan runs the entire show. There's not a good side and a bad side. There's not a side that's a little less worse than the other side. It doesn't matter who is selected. You guys don't have anything to do with the actual election. So don't be a part of that fraud. Don't be a part of that scam. And you don't want anyone they present to you. Our president is Messiah Yahushua. The creator of the entire universe is our Yahuwah. And those are who we serve, and we will serve to the death, till the death. And so with that, guys, I think we have it.
I have one thing.
What do you got? I guess not.
I want to say about the scriptures. They will be shipped on Tuesday.
Oh, right.
Arriving Tuesday, so they'll be shipped.
The train has arrived in Tennessee on Tuesday. Wednesday, they should be shipping out Yah Scriptures. And so...
anybody that's ordered, you should have it by the end of the week or the following week.
Yep.
But they are on their way.
So they're all heading out. Prisoners are all getting them. There's going to be a massive load. It was an amazing time. Finally made it. So guys, by next Shabbat, hopefully a lot of you guys that have ordered these will have these. And I guess that's it.
That's it.
So much love to everybody. Jade, will you please send us out?
Yehovah Baruch you, and guard you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you, and show favor to you. Lift his face upon you, and give you peace. That he shall put mine upon the children of Yashrael, and I myself shall barak them.
Okay. All right, guys. Here we go. We're in the heavens. All right, fam. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May Messiah Yahushua be a king to the kingdom to come for all of us. And may we all see each other on the other side as faithful, obedient children of the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We love you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Bye, guys.